31 weeks to Madiera. Welcome to this blackout in Bishop Stortford. I am on my way back home after a weekend back in my native Glasgow, visiting family. This is the last chance I've really got to record this video this week, and we'll see if it actually makes it into the cut. But essentially just try to stick with this video diary. So I was talking about being a developmental athlete versus being a amateur athlete, and a bit about rest and recovery over this last week, and just working out where things have maybe been going wrong, and lastly talking about my strength training programming. At some point there might even be some light. So we had a fantastic high jump session earlier this week with Grant Brown. I'll drop a link to his website in the comments, or in the description rather. So this was one of my warm weather training days, turned into a warm weather training afternoon, and I paid for an hour and a half of one-on-one coaching with him. Really good. Just really smart guy. We got on really well. He said the same. Enjoyed working with him. Coached me up with some of the basics of how to do the long jump and foot placement, how to measure out your run up, and just some basic cues that I've been missing, and I'm feeling much better prepared for the high jump that's a week today. It was a really good model. I'd love to do more of that one-on-one coaching, try and use the fact that I've got a wee bit more money than the average athlete in some ways to avail of that. And I'm looking forward to working with him a bit more, particularly maybe next year if I'm moving back to London. So obviously I had to go down to London for that. I had a nice sauna in the evening. Yeah, my spa evening didn't really come through. That's another story. So yeah, lots of positive to take from that. Got my high jump spikes on. That was great. I wasn't really jumping as high as I'd maybe done before, like the Highland Games or in practice up at Norwich. But one of the things that really stuck out to me was he was saying actually you've got potential to jump like 10 centimetres higher than that, like to jump 160 and than I'd done. And whether rightly or wrongly, I've already been eyeing up jumping 160 and thinking, can I jump higher than that still? And possibly this is just me getting ahead of myself, but in my mind, because I'm an untrained athlete, I almost feel like my potential is much higher than someone else that's been training for a long time and only been at this stage. And although that's true, and it's definitely true that hard work pays much better dividends than potential, it does really remind me of this whole aspect of, because I'm a masters athlete, people maybe don't see as much potential, or they really have to see that potential being realised to believe it, and certainly wouldn't be making promises, almost as if you're past your best. And again, just thinking about some of the younger under 17 athletes in the club that have been doing well recently, their achievements, which might be not as good, would be much better celebrated because it's appropriate for their stage. And although it's true that their stages are less well developed, and as a result they have shorter distances to run, or lighter implements, etc., I actually think I should be classifying myself as a developmental athlete. In this paper that I quoted at the beginning, that's really given me the framework for this whole journey, the tier below, tier 3, the highly trained athlete, is the trained or developmental athlete. And I kind of want to move from being a trained athlete to a highly trained athlete. But I guess it's a bit like being on a training program as a surgeon, where you almost have respect for the ones that are junior, that don't have much experience, but they're already on the training pathway, they're already on that fast track, or they've gained like an academic position. I need to almost view myself as one of these. these individuals that's potentially on a high trajectory. So maybe that's just trying to reframe some disappointing performance. But I think it's really crucial not to take these things too much to heart and say, well, most of the guys that would be competing at a senior level would have been training for about 5 years or something like that. So, let's put it in perspective what I'm doing here in the first year and not have too high expectations. So more on developmental athletes, and I've been looking at some of the, more on that later. I've been looking at some of the kind of standards that you'd be setting for like a 17-year-old. Just coming out of my car here. To say, well, actually, is that something I could aim for? If these guys are eyeing up senior competition in the next couple of years, is that something also I should be aiming for? Because that's what I'm doing. And I've mentioned last time that I'm probably getting a wee bit ahead of myself in terms of, could I achieve this long term? Could I maybe get to this stage long term? And I don't really have long term. I need to get down to business, but I think that's a way to keep sober, but also keep focused. So that's that. I think looking back, obviously I've been run down, unwell, struggling to get back to full recovery mode over the last while. And where's it all gone wrong? I think some of it went wrong with some of the indoor training I did that actually was quite cold, and it wasn't actually warm weather training. And I think the spa I did was actually, there was aspects of that where it was actually quite cold in that spa day in Kings Lynn, and also I think the sunbed session, I sometimes get a bit run down after those. So I just think piecing all that together, I'm probably just not going to do any sunbeds. So get vitamin D when it's warm, but not when it's cold. I'll try and do some more indoor stuff when it's actually warm indoors. I'm going to allow myself to rest up. And the other thing, which I'm about to come on to, is I don't think this PH3 programme is really the right one for me. Technically speaking, I can do it if I just eke it out and I don't do anything else. I done the session yesterday, I got up in the session yesterday, and it felt great, I felt powerful, I was lifting heavy, but I feel really worn out today, and I think it's going to take me a bit of it's not just taking me like a day or two to recover, this is taking me like days to recover from these sessions. And he's up front about that, he's saying, unless you're used to lifting heavy several times a week, this isn't for you. And I thought, well, maybe I'm there or thereabouts, what with not doing the same volume, but essentially I'm now what date is it today? It's March 16th, like tomorrow's St. Paddy's Day. Like, it's now 6 weeks since I started this block, and I've done like 1 week of the programme. That just doesn't add up. We need to change something later in the year. If I can focus more on strength, maybe after competition in Madiera, I can come back and do this PH3. It's good testing the 1 rep max. That absolutely took it out of me that week. And I just need to pick a easier, simpler, more beginner program. I found one on bodybuilding.com called Beginner Powerlifting. It's based around 5x5 training. There's 12 workouts over 4 weeks. You add on pounds each week, and there's a couple of accessory exercises, and that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go and make sure I can at least complete that. That's something that's achievable over the next 6.5 weeks. That I'm going to be doing this block. I can come away with it feeling good, and at the end I can still go and retest my 1 rep max and see where we're at. There's even a small chance that my Wilks coefficient will be 300. If I'm adding weight to the bar each week and I'm not doing too much. So bit of a sobering one, but just walking back late tonight, absolutely wrecked. I think it's time to switch that up, and I'm not a power lifter. I'm I'm a decathlete, and if I wanted to do powerlifting instead, then I could do that, and I could start, I could start achieving some of those numbers and work up to that. So, yeah, looking forward to that. I think that's the right fit. I think that's a good recalibration. Yeah, I do want to lean into the powerlifting and I can finish that so that next block from May I can do some Olympic lifting, and I think that's going to give me the power. And then May, June, July. Come July, after that I won't be doing any major lifting in the gym at all. It's just going to be pure explosive work, just pure whatever speed work. So get a bit of a drive home here now, so I'll catch up later this week ahead of competition. I'm feeling better already about the decision I'm making there. I will have an opportunity, I think, after I've done decathlon to maybe do a bit more heavy lifting and focus purely on that when I've finished with athletics maybe. So yeah, peace out. The vision's still Madiera. It's going to be great. We're still weighing up between decathlon and sprinting. We'll see where we get. So much unknowns right now. I feel so far away from knowing where I stand on sprints and decathlon. Next Sunday I'll have a much better idea, and in a couple of weeks after that we'll know how this has all gone with the sprints. But until then, onwards and upwards.